Hello. Come on in. Welcome to our new studio. I think the last video we published was with Tim from Vitra, who challenged our space in terms of furniture, in terms of light, in terms of acoustics, in terms of how we collaborate, how we communicate together, which was super interesting. We'll link it in the description. And we got the keys for the space about 3 weeks ago, and we started renovating it a bit ourselves.
Let's go. I'm gonna shake it till you can't no more. So high, so low. I'll take you anywhere you wanna go. I'm out of my mind, out of control. You got me spinning, now I gotta know. I'm on top of the world.
I want to show you a bit of what we've done so far. I would have loved to show you the final space already, but now it's 2 videos. So you've got this one under construction, and then you've got the other one. We'll make that in 2 weeks when everything is final, a bit more maybe than 2 weeks. Amongst a lot of things that turned out really nice and other things didn't turn out really nice, of course, the furniture take a lot of time until they get delivered. So normally in Germany it's between 4 or 6 weeks. So we're still waiting for some stuff, and we're putting some small solutions that we can work with for now, and then we'll change it later on. But for now, I guess I'm gonna just show you a bit around. The basic idea of the studio is that we have about 170 square meters, and we are here with only 6 people. 6 or 7 people, but then at Blackboard we are 30 people. So this space is really supposed to be the sort of home ship, like a safe space for our people. But then 6 of us, 7 of us are gonna work here on a day-to-day, like everyday base, and the other one needs to pop in every now and then. So this space needs to be super flexible for 5 people to work on a daily base, for team retreats, for 30 people to get together and work like small day stuff. This was the outcome of the design process with Tim in the Hamburg showroom, and so basically we challenged the space. We'll skip all the, these all little extras for now, because we want the space to settle first and then move in with new stuff. We also want to do some events, for example, for the podcast, for the On the Way to New Work podcast. We want to do like little after work kind of live podcast thingies, which is really nice. That's actually, I'm going to show you first thing, because there's going to be a sofa here. For the podcast night, we have, let's see if I can get this out. Or have you seen it before actually? No? There's a big screen coming down, which is nice for the podcast nights. So the space needs to be really, really flexible. So is the fireplace, for example. We can turn that. So we can has set up a really nice sort of cozy kind of thing here. Our big desk for 6 people to work on is gonna go here. Unfortunately, the swing needs to go. Yeah, it's a kind of pity, but we'll leave the settings so we can hang it up whenever we move the table to the side. Yeah, so what we did was this was green before, the doors were green, so we repainted everything, and we chose a very light color that is sort of matching our existing furniture. This room, it doesn't look like anything changed. We haven't done anything, but we've actually worked a lot in this room. When we wanted to paint, this wall kind of fell on us. So we took the whole thing down and kind of remade it and just colored it. And the idea of this room is there's going to be our small meeting room. So we have a table here for 4 or 6 people. There's going to be dancing walls here. So the kind of magnetic walls you can write on, and you can stick stuff to it. And we need to work a bit on the acoustics, so we'll probably hang something and do a bit of lighting here, and it's going to be our podcast/meeting room with light. of course, our elephant needed to move in with us right away. This is gonna be a different room. It's gonna be our living room, like a sort of quiet zone in a way. There will be a PC here, a workstation, but mainly there will be a big lounge chair, and then of course there's the bed, which was in here before, having a zone where you can sort of hide and, you know, maybe take a 20-minute nap. It's something that we really support, so we thought we'll just leave it in here. And then there's storage here. What did you just discover? I didn't show you. I'm so sorry, I forgot about that. There's a secret door in the room, in the living room. Yeah, and it's funny because you can completely hide in here. Yeah. It's nice. It's gonna be really nice. Small office in this one, sort of more living room like.
So what's up with the paint?
It's more a color for living room or for home living, but since this is our living room, we wanted it to be a bit cozy, and the room doesn't need to be big. It needs to be cozy and comfortable, and yeah, that's what we can achieve with that. That's also the reason why we're gonna hang curtains in this one that are a bit more home lifestyle. Yeah, the desk is going to be delivered in a couple of weeks, so we just set up this. It's a nice, cheap pop-up desk that we can just tear apart in a couple of weeks, and then we can reuse the wood for something else. Yeah, the wall was it was black before, and I think I showed you a video, like a picture earlier, right? Because it was kind of difficult. There was we tried, I think, 6 different colors on it before, and they all kind of looked not good to the black that we had earlier. In the end, we decided for a color from Schöner Wohnen, I think it's Parkdale. We wanted to have this one dark, but maybe not too dark, so it still needed to be cozy. And we actually bought the Schöner Wohnen color, and then we mixed it with a little bit of black, so it got a little bit darker. But you also really liked it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Ja. Ja. Hallo, guten Morgen.
Guten Morgen.
Wir sind gerade am Film, aber komm rein.
Hallo. Sieht schon wohnlicher aus.
Yeah. See? That's what we want. We don't want an office like a clinical sort of cold space. We really want this to be warm and welcoming. And so maybe I'm gonna just show you this room quickly. There's not a lot of fancy stuff happening. There was closets in here, really big closets, so we took that all out. And what was nice about being here for the last 2 or 3 weeks, we had people come in all the time, colleagues, friends, and we were discussing the space, and that was actually quite nice because it gave us a little bit different perspectives on, I guess, on what it feels like to people also, and it's nice to have, if you have the possibility to have ideas grow within the design process. It's done on the paper and then we translate it to the space, but we in the process, and I love the idea that it's flexible, so that it's building on top of each other. So we don't need to make choices in the beginning and then we need to carry it out, but we can just adapt it on the way, on the go. I think that's really nice. So we really decided a couple of days ago that this is going to be quiet zone and also room for taking calls, for example. So we would love to have the Vitra alcove sofa in here, which has higher ceilings on the side, and it is really nice for acoustics and for taking call, for having a conversation with 2 people, maybe 3, if you have a little hocker on the side. And yeah, so I really look forward to this room, although it looks like nothing right now. I think it's going to be really, really nice. And this room also so far looks like nothing has changed, but I think Niels and I were in this room for 4 days. And he and Christoph are so excited because it's going to be really, really nice. And what they love most is that you can, of course, completely leave the light outside.
Light 'em up like dominoes. Throw 'em back, let it burn slow. It's been a long day, it's too long. There's nothing wrong with having a good time. I'm in over, my head's a hurricane.
because first all the cabling needed to go here, because here's our server and our editing room. So actually it's between 1 and 3 people can work in this room basically. And it's a little bit gonna be like our creative, how do you call it, laboratory in a way, like the creative room. I'm very excited for this room, but so far it doesn't really, you still need a lot of imagination to think what it's going to be like. Yeah, so this is it so far. I hope I gave a little overview of what the space will be like, and I'm very excited to show you in hopefully a couple of weeks how this turned out. In the meantime, you can follow us on Instagram, because we have the stories there, we have the highlights there, so you can see everything from, you know, what color we chose and how we painted the doors, and like every little detail. A lot of things happened that you don't see here right now, but you know, like filling all the gaps in the walls and doing small fixes. You don't necessarily see it immediately, but the feeling you get is a lot how can I say this, higher quality than when we wouldn't have done it. Let's put it that way. Yeah, that's what I love the most. It's really green, although it's in the middle of the city, and I think it's passing right now, the High Line, I hear it coming. It's a sort of, you know, I'm a romantic, I love it. It used to be like that in New York, so it's let's say 1% of New York in front of our door. This is our sort of idea of open space, because we will sit in an open space. We were talking about open space in the other video a couple of weeks ago when we visited Vitra in Weil am Rhein. I know there was a lot of discussion on that. Again, I can only highlight that it's not the open office that doesn't work. A lot of people think open office, people get sick, people are annoyed, it's too noisy. But it's always personally, I think it's always the implementation of the open space that is important. So make sure there's a lot of room for people to also leave the open space when they feel like they don't need to, they want to work concentrated, or implement certain rules. For example, I hear a lot of people have headphones on when they don't want to be disturbed, and other people, their colleagues, know that once your colleagues have headphones on, they don't want to be disturbed. So the rules are really important. Quiet zones are important, meeting rooms are important, but again, it's very individual, so you can't say it's good or bad for a company, but it really depends on how you work together, how you communicate, and yeah, let me know if you have questions. I'm very happy to discuss. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll walk you out and see you back in 3 or 4 weeks. Bye-bye. Bye. MP, are you like super in love with our new space?
Yes.